Why, if mankind was destined for such unhappiness, was it born? Or, if it was born, why does it not immediately extinguish itself? I was fleeing human society as much as I could, seeing nothing in the world but misery, disaster, and boredom.
I have no reason to destroy nor despair. I do not care to cause either pleasure or pain. Even if I were to wipe out your entire species, I would not notice it. I am what I am. Be content to be what you are.
This is from Leopardi's peace dialogue between nature and an Icelander. This philosophical dialogue embodies Leopardi's cosmic pessimism, presenting a bleak view of nature and human existence. Nature, instead of being a nurturing force, is portrayed as cruel and indifferent to human aspirations. Born in 1798, he's considered one of Italy's greatest literary figures of the 19th century, influencing modern thought with his profound, melancholic reflections on the human condition. Leopardi also critiqued human progress and history, seeing civilization and technological advancement as distractions that ultimately do not resolve the fundamental misery of life. Leopardi believed that humans create illusions, such as religion, love, and societal values, to cope with the harshness of existence. While these illusions provide temporary comfort, they eventually lead to disappointment when confronted with reality. This might sound familiar to Schopenhauer's readers, on whom Leopardi left a lasting impression, writing, "No one in our time has addressed this issue so thoroughly and exhaustively as Leopardi. He's completely filled and imbued with it. Everywhere his theme is the mockery and torment of this life. He declares it on every page of his work, and yet with such a multiplicity of forms and turns, with such a wealth of images, that it does not generate boredom, but rather is always delightful and stimulating." Nietzsche was familiar with Leopardi's work and acknowledged him as an important figure in his intellectual development, particularly during his early period. He admired Leopardi's bravery in confronting the harsh realities of existence without relying on comforting illusions, which resonated with Nietzsche's own critique of traditional values, such as religion and morality. Throughout his life, Leopardi grappled with a sense of deep isolation, both physical and emotional. His fragile health and introverted nature often kept him separated from others, leading him to explore themes of alienation and the existential solitude of individuals who confront the bleakness of life without the distractions of society. Despite his pessimism, Leopardi often advocated for a kind of stoic heroism. He believed that while life is filled with inevitable suffering, humans could still find dignity in acknowledging the truth and facing it courageously, rather than escaping into false hopes or illusions. Giacomo Leopardi's life was marked by intense intellectual activity. Despite his relatively short life, his experiences and thoughts left a lasting impact on literature and philosophy. Long hours of study and writing weakened his health, contributing to the severe ailments that would plague him for the rest of his life. By the age of 16, he had mastered Greek, Latin, Hebrew, and several modern languages, developing a remarkable command of classical literature and philosophy. Around 1816, Leopardi began to shift from classical scholarship to more personal forms of expression, particularly poetry. Human beings are always in search of knowledge. The more we learn, the more we understand the limits of our understanding. And though this realization can bring sorrow, there is a certain grandeur in acknowledging our ignorance and striving to overcome it. Leopardi believed that the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual inquiry, though often painful, was one of the highest callings of human life. While knowledge often reveals the harsh truths of existence, Leopardi saw intellectual honesty and the desire to understand the universe as noble endeavors. Always dear to me was this solitary hill, and this hedge, which, from so many parts of the far horizon, the sight excludes, but sitting and gazing, boundless, spaces beyond it, and superhuman silences, and profound quietness, I create in my thoughts. This reflects a sense of wonder at the infinite, suggesting that while life is painful, the human mind can transcend immediate suffering through contemplation of the sublime. Although Leopardi is often associated with the futility of human effort, he admired humanity's capacity for resilience in the face of adversity. He believed that recognizing the harshness of life, rather than succumbing to despair, was an act of courage. In 1824, he began work on his philosophical and literary prose, including the famous collection operette Morali, Moral Essays. Leopardi's time in Florence, 1830 to 1833, at a creative high point. He continued to refine his poetic and philosophical voice. His works from this period, such as the poem La Ginestra, The Broom, reflect his profound pessimism, but also his belief in human solidarity in the face of suffering. Here on the slopes of this terrifying mountain, which no tree, no flower can brighten, you, solitary broom, scatter your scent as if pitying others' woes, sending to the sky a fragrance that comforts this desert. In La Ginestra, Leopardi uses the image of a broom flower growing on the barren slopes of Mount Vesuvius to represent the resilience of humans in the face of an indifferent world. In 1833, Leopardi moved to Naples with his friend Antonio Ranieri, hoping that the warmer climate might improve his health. He spent his final years here in worsening physical condition, but continued to write prolifically. Leopardi died on June 14, 1837, in Naples, at the age of 38, likely from pulmonary edema aggravated by his chronic illnesses. Why complain? Why grieve in vain of misfortune and pain? Is the world's fate not fixed? And is human destiny nothing but infinite? Relentless suffering, joined by emptiness, mocking every human dream.